Welcome to the Forecast by Bambuser, your guide to the future of retail, tech, and innovation. We bring you insights from the world's frontrunners so you can stay ahead of the curve and win big. Let's go. Anna Katrine Matthiesen is a leading AI expert in the Nordics. She's the youngest person to ever make partner in Vertica, a company specialized in creating cutting-edge e-commerce solutions for global organizations. In addition to her impressive accomplishments at Vertica, she was also nominated for Berlingske Talent 100, a prestigious list celebrating outstanding young talent in Denmark. She is regularly used as an expert source in radio programs and sits on the jury for the Danish e-commerce award. On today's episode of the Forecast, you will hear her reflections on how AI will impact the future of shopping for retailers and customers alike, how organizations can keep up with technological advancements in AI, and how to formulate your very own AI strategy. What is the most impressive use case of AI in retail that you've seen so far?
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about it actually, because I still think there's lacking these really wow experiences out there. But for sure, I would say that Zalando is moving quite a bit ahead at the moment with their new semantic search or AI shopping assistant. That's beginning to look a little bit of wow. But else, I would say that it's actually companies doing a lot of things behind the scenes. And I would definitely mention Mudslinjen, a Danish company, which operates ferries. So it maybe seems kind of boring, but they have made some really impressive things with the AI on the ferries. For example, when onboarding the cars, they can, with the use of AI, place them in the right places, so they save a lot of fuel when sailing. So that's a positive impact on the CO2.
Okay, that's very interesting. So it seems like AI is probably still operating more behind the scenes rather than super customer facing as of right now. Semantic search, was that what you called it?
Yes.
Is that the technical term for AI search, or?
Yeah, you could call it that. So when you're interacting with an AI shopping assistant, for example, asking them, oh, I'm going to this party next weekend, what should I wear? Or I love a yellow dress, what could you recommend for my body type? Then behind that, we will be using part of semantic search and also other technologies, but that is the primary term for that.
All right, that's interesting. I feel like our listeners is really going to use that as the first takeaway. But I would like to move the conversation towards the cases that you guys work with here at Vertica. I would like to ask you, lately, have you worked on any cases with any clients where you've seen that the implementation of AI really impacted the results of the client? And if so, if you could share a little bit more about the case.
Sure. We're actually at the moment working on a semantic search case, which will be really interesting for that client, seeing what will it do for the end customers. Their products are very exclusive, but it also kind of difficult choosing the correct item for the specific use case. So that would definitely be a big help for their clients. But at the moment, we're working for a client selling groceries online, and we're working with this technical approach called OCR, which is optical character recognition. That meaning when you're selling groceries online, the EU laws are that you need to tell the customer exactly what kind of product, what things are inside the product. So how much salt is there, what e-numbers are there, and they need to tell that. So when you have thousands and thousands of groceries online, that's kind of time-consuming. So what you do is that you scan the product or take an image, picture of it, and then you can use the technology to abstract all the textual information. So you don't need to sit and look at the product, write salt and stuff. It will do it automatically. So that could save a lot of manpower or man hours behind the scenes.
Interesting. And I feel like that would also give you a lot of data points to then work with if you want to filter for, oh, I don't want MSG in my food or whatever.
So you can do that allergies and stuff like that. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So a few years back, you were nominated for the prestigious Berlingske Top 100 Talent list, which is amazing. Congratulations on that again.
Thank you so much.
Could you share a little bit about your own career and how you think you positioned yourself in such a young age to be nominated for a list like that?
Yeah, it's always difficult to say why are you chosen to such a list. But I feel that my positioning in e-commerce especially and working with trends and future technologies has really made me a profile in the area. So that is definitely something I feel has put me on that list. And at the moment, I also work in a few boards, and that is a new progression for me in my career, at least at the moment. Yeah,
that's very exciting. What brought you into the AI space in the first place?
Yeah, so when ChatGPT launched, we had just started looking into what can AI do for retail in the future, and then ChatGPT came, and everyone was like, wow. I think that everyone could see with their own eyes what it could do and what it did already to everything. And then I got really interested looking down into what will that mean for the future of retail and the end consumer experiences. So I started delving into that. I also took a Berkeley course surrounding AI and looking into what is the technology behind it all, so I could understand both sides of that. So that was where my journey into that started. And what you can say is that because it's such a new technology for the broader people, then there are not that many experts at that moment. So when you dig down into that quite early, you also had the opportunity, or I had the opportunity to become an expert in that specific area surrounding retail and e-commerce. So that was how it started for me, and I think it's just a lot of curiosity into what is the technology and what could that mean for the future outbring of e-commerce.
I know Vertica is very focused on building extraordinary customer experiences, and as a partner you of course have to embody that in your work as well. What do you define as an outstanding customer experience?
Yeah, so for me an outstanding customer experience is when at least the customer don't notice the technology behind. They shouldn't think about what is this technology, and everything should just be moving seamlessly. So don't thinking about load times and all that, just moving smoothly in the shopping experience. And then, of course, building upon that, there could be loyalty features, the community feeling, feeling connected to the brand. So all these emotional triggers are very important. And I feel that an extraordinary experience doesn't do only on the website. It's much broader than that. It's also on the so many channels. It could be on marketplaces. So you should just have this streamlined, of course, in the physical shops as well. So that for me, an extraordinary shopping experience is when you don't notice the technology and everything just flows, and then you can be aware of all those emotional triggers instead, making you feel connected to the brand.
I really like how you emphasized emotional triggers, because at Bambuser we work a lot with the social aspect of shopping, putting a face to shopping, and having a community-driven approach to purchasing, basically. Do you see AI playing a key role in helping us connect emotionally with retailers or even products?
Yeah, I really think it will. You can say at the moment it's quite difficult, or at least very time-consuming, making a one-on-one personalized shopping experience. So for the AI, it will know you a lot better, maybe even better than you know yourself, and it will be able for that to make an even more personalized experience for you. So, for example, as a brand, you can take all your knowledge and you can build that into exactly a Cecilia experience. If you had to do that now, it would be not a specific Cecilia, but a segment with Cecilia surrounding it. But AI will be able to give you a very, very personalized experience, making you feel more connected, and maybe it will know your emotional triggers. Of course, at the moment, there is some law stopping that a little bit in the EU, at least. But maybe that will change in the future. So I think we will see some, totally different ways of experiencing the shopping experience in the future.
So my AI knows that when I'm planning my summer vacation, it needs to recommend me this perfume because I'm probably going to be in a beach mood.
Yeah, exactly.
I would like to discuss a little more about AI in general, because for most people in the general public, I think they solely associate AI with ChatGPT. But it's so much more than that.
Yes.
Could you maybe just take it back completely and define AI for us?
Yeah. So AI, as the word says, is artificial intelligence. So it's a way of simulating the way human thinks and the way we learn and how we act. So that's actually what we want the machines to do. That is AI in its purest form, you can say. And then AI works on many forms of, I wouldn't call it technologies, but yeah, let's do that for the sake of this talk. So we would work with, for example, NLPs, which is sort of like the LLMs, large language models, or a type underneath that. And we could work with machine learning, which is also a field inside of AI, making it possible to build a lot of stuff. So, for example, the example I mentioned in the beginning from Molslinjen, that's made with machine learning. But the more traditional technologies or ways of working with AI, they're working with the data and analyzing existing data. But now what we see with ChatGPT and more broadly generative AI is that it's not learning from the data, it's producing new data. And that is why it's so much more compelling and interesting for most people working with, and also a lot easier to understand because you can see the output which is coming. Machine learning, for example, it works with huge piles of data, analyzing that and giving you some numbers back you can work with. But that's not for maybe normal human beings like you and me to see. But that we can do with the generative AI. We can ask them to make a picture of our dream man or a cute dog or the perfect outfit and stuff like that. And that is why generative AI is taking off. And that will also be one of the main technologies in the coming years for moving retail and e-commerce into the AI space. Because generative AI will be driving these agents, which is at the moment the big topic in, at least in the retail area, but also in many other areas as well in AI.
And of course, with the possibility of this aging really fast, this interview, we just saw ChatGPT launched a shopping function, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and in the same week, Visa launched some of the, you could say a similar experience to that, where companies can tap into, or customers like you and me can tap into, making our Visa card ready for these agents. So I could, in the future, tell my agent, yes, you can just use my Visa card when I need something. So I could tell it to go shop a new white t-shirt for me, and it will do it on behalf of me. Maybe I will tell it how much it can spend, of course, but maybe in the future it will be analyzing on what do I usually spend on white t-shirts or grocery shopping, and it can do that that reasoning on its own.
Wow. Maybe even look out for good offers, so I don't have to scan through all the newsletters that are crowding on my inbox every day.
Exactly. So that is some of the things that we don't have to do anymore. So we can just, of course, we will still be shopping as customers. We will go to either physical or store or an e-commerce store looking for that perfect dress. Maybe that will be of course, always something human people will like doing. But what you can say is that, you will save time doing all the boring stuff. Some of the things that we are doing subscriptions for today, maybe we'll just have our agent doing that for us in the future.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So this one might be controversial, but what misconceptions about AI do you see in the general public?
Yeah, there are many. I think the biggest misconception is that it works like magic. That you could just tell it, oh, I would like it to do this, and then in a blink of an eye, it will do it. AI doesn't work like that. AI is never better than the data you have behind it, so to say. So if you want, for example, in the agent terminology, if we are talking about that, if your agent don't have any information about you, how will it know what your preferences are? And on the same side, if you as a business want to analyze on your, it could be you want to forecast what to buy or how much will I sell in July or something like that. If it doesn't have any data behind that, if it doesn't know what did you sell last July or what are your what do you sell? What products do you have? And maybe if you sell raincoats, how will the weather be? Then it won't be able to tell anything. So the AI will never be better than the data it works upon. Yeah, and that is what I think is the biggest misconception, that people think it will just work magically.
It seems like magic sometimes. I'm asking it to make a render of a nice, I don't know, landscape or something. Boom.
But behind that, there are thousands of images of landscapes and descriptions of landscapes and a lot of other things, a lot of training hours, etc. But yeah, maybe in the future, some of the latest experiments in AI have started to show that machines can learn machines doing stuff. So in maybe not a near future, but in some future, maybe we'll be able to tell it to gather all these data for us and structure it for us and stuff like that. And at the moment, we still need to do that work beforehand. Many people say that in a couple of years, we will see the first one-man unicorn or two-person unicorn being built with maybe just me and then all my AI agent friends working for me, doing all the jobs. One is doing the marketing, one is doing the sales, one is doing accounting and all that. And maybe I'm just the face into the real world. Let's see. I think maybe not the one-man unicorn, but maybe 2 or 10-person unicorn. That would still be quite magical, I think.
That would be super cool. I mean, not sure I would like to go to an after work.
No, that will be a little boring
company, but it sounds incredible, and you're probably right about that.
But then we're moving, if you say the after work, then we're moving into the robotics also. Talking about what about all these humanoids, like we starting to see robots or humanoids acting like us, if they soon can make emotional conversations and interact with us, maybe it'll be quite fun anyway. Let's see.
Yeah, see if we can outdrink a robot.
I don't know how they will be drunk, but let's see.
For the people watching or listening today who find this field completely overwhelming and don't really know how to start with their own AI education or have an idea of what opportunities are actually in it for their business, how would you recommend them to start educating themselves within AI and its possibilities?
Yeah. So of course, being curious, what is happening out there, looking at webinars, joining conferences, listening to podcasts surrounding the area. And I would actually recommend just digging a little bit into the technology behind, because that opens your horizons to what is actually possible and what is very difficult building. So that will also save you for a lot of consulting hours with the consultants telling you, yes, I can do that, and in reality they can't. So at least, spending some time educating yourself. And then I would also say, getting your hands a little dirty, test out some of the products out there. Maybe you can, building your own agents. ChatGPT has functions for that, for example. So you can start playing around with it, and that will also, give you both bigger understanding, but also if you're, for example, in a business context, you can show small results at least from a very early stage. And I would also say, as a business owner or an employee in a business, look for business cases which will drive real impact, and I would also say real economical impact, because doing all these things which are just blingy or funny things, it won't make the difference, and it won't make the impact on the long term. It will also be more difficult getting funding for future products inside your company. So look for business cases with economical impact, at least.
That's really good advice. Do you have any go-to resources that you like to follow, like blogs or thought leaders? Or
I like to I have a Danish podcast, so for the Danish listeners, I would definitely follow a Prompt on the Danish broadcasting.
Okay.
But else, I would say listening to, it could be technology briefings. Financial Times has a technology briefing. I would definitely listen to that. They have it both on podcast. They also have a physical newsletter that you can sign up to. That could be one place of starting. If you want to dig a little deeper, there's also a machine learning podcast out there for beginners, but I think they progress a little quickly. And then I could recommend also following along with McKinsey and Company on their retail podcast. They have a lot of good topics surrounding AI as well, specifically on the retail side.
Okay, thank you. So all the listeners are going to get the foundation here on the forecast, and then they can go explore by themselves. I like the idea of that. So at Bambuser, we work with a lot of clients within a ton of different industries. Do you see any particular industries or even markets that you think are especially forward-thinking and innovative when it comes to utilizing AI in retail?
So definitely China. If we should talk about markets, they are far ahead of us. So when looking for retail inspiration and looking for where to go in that direction, I would definitely look to the Chinese or the Asian markets. Go on trips there, looking at what they do, or follow along on it could be both social media and other places or resources online. They are ahead of us, both because they are more explorative in their way of utilizing and adopting new technology, but also because, of course, especially in the EU, we have a lot of laws surrounding us. They don't have that in the same way. And then, of course, following along of some of the big American giants, it could be Walmart, Amazon, stuff like that. They are also moving quite ahead. But you can look away from China in this field.
All right, so they definitely are the AI leader currently.
Definitely.
So are there any work tasks or even areas of business that you see become obsolete with the introduction of AI? How worried should we be about that?
Yeah, definitely. There will be a lot, but we already seen it surrounding translations. The translator is almost dead. So we see it a lot in customer services. That is really being disrupted at the moment by AI. And it's also a very good place to start if you want to dig into that in retail. You can do all the answering and messaging and also the segmentation and stuff like that in your customer service. So we see a lot of clients enhancing their back office and optimizing that really quickly at the moment. So definitely, I think the customer service agent will not disappear completely, but they will be minimized a lot. And talking about China before, you could definitely look to that. Many of their both retails, but also financial institutions and stuff like that use AI in that field. That will soon be gone. And then for our own sake, definitely the coders or the software engineers, they won't disappear, but their ways of working will be a lot different than today. So hopefully it will also be much, much quicker to develop your technologies in the future.
So it seems like maybe a lot of specialists will start to be working more as editors, like looking through the code that's been written, ensuring that the translation looks and feels authentic. It's interesting that you're saying translations and customer service, because at Bambuser we do have a few features that are powered by AI that we've launched quite a while ago, actually. One is dubbing, where you can literally take the voice, you and me, for example, and make us speak French or German or whatever, and it syncs up the movement of the mouth, and it keeps your voice tonality. It's super cool. And then of course we have a chat function where it sort of predicts the answers to the questions that people will ask in a chat context. So that's very interesting to hear you say those two.
That will definitely, I think those two will disappear almost in 1 or 2 years, actually, so very quickly, and then it will just progress from that on. And of course we also see that content editors and stuff like that. So I think many employees will be doing a lot of more Q&A, quality assurance, and and ideation in the future.
I have, of course, been stalking Vertica on your website, and I saw that you recently released a full guide on how to create an AI strategy. We don't have time to go through the whole framework here, but I was wondering if you could share a quick glimpse with the audience, and as an FYI to the audience, we'll also link to this resource in the show notes, but just as an overall glimpse into what's in there.
So we were talking earlier about the educational background. So we have some advice for how to start and how to educate your colleagues or your employees more better, so that your whole company will get this understanding of the technology and the use cases surrounding it. And then we have some guidance for how do you find the right business case. So how do you find a business case making economical impact, making impact for your end customers, and all those types of things. So that is some of the things which is in that guide.
So education, business impact, is it for everyone regardless of their AI knowledge going in, or who's the target group here?
Yeah, it's everyone, and especially maybe the ones who doesn't have that much knowledge already. I would definitely recommend you, if you're not a beginner in the field, but just starting, forming your strategy, then you could start there.
Okay. We always end these podcasts with a forecast, hence the name. Surprise. Where do you predict that AI will take retail within the next few years? I know this is a big question.
It will definitely change retail dramatically. It won't be like we know it today. I think it will maybe not in the next 1 or 2 years, but in the next 5 or 10 years, it will look completely different. In the same way that e-commerce changed retail, then AI agents or AI will change retail once again.
Wow, it's going to be that big of an impact?
Yes, I really do think so, because I think it will change the way that we perceive businesses, how we interact with them, and how we interact with brands. So, for example, when we're speaking about community building and the brand feeling, that will be so much more important, because if you and I just send our AI agent into the shopping world, how will we experience and how will we see new brands coming up? So that part will be really, really important for us to give that knowledge to our agents. So I think it will be a totally new way for us shopping, and hopefully a more relaxed as well. That doom scrolling that we all do when we're looking for that black dress, we won't do that anymore, for example. So I think it will. The agents will do a lot of the shopping for us, and we will only do the shopping which is fun and more experience-based. So shopping for example, makeup, when we are buying what we always buy, the agent will just do it. But when we're going to that special occasion and need that perfect glam, then we will go to stores which will give us that extra experience, either online or physically.
So all of the fun inspiration and none of the tedious bargain hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds nice. Yeah. So rounding out the interview, what do you think is the biggest untapped potential with AI at large?
Yeah, I think the biggest untapped potential actually is that many companies haven't started yet. So now we are seeing all these agents rolling out, or beginning to roll out at least. And if you haven't started experimenting with AI, if you haven't started structuring your data, finding out what data is important, looking into what do these agents actually need from you, then you're not ready. So I think too many businesses are sleeping at the moment, nice AI sleep, and they should get started and moving a little bit faster, because they will be disrupted by smaller companies, maybe these one-man unicorns, if they don't dig into this very soon. So I actually think that is the biggest untapped thing, that the people don't do it enough.
So basically, like the equivalent would be you launched a web shop in 2020.
Yeah, exactly.
That was very, very interesting. Thank you so much, Anna Katrine, for sharing all of your knowledge today, and also your whole perspective about how you think AI is really going to shape the customer experience going forward. And as mentioned, of course, Vertica, you guys are specialized in delivering great solutions in AI and e-commerce in general. So we will link to that resource in the show notes as well. But thank you so much for guesting the Forecast today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.